Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to work on this Dura Ace Rd 7700. It's a really nice derailleur, hollow hanger bolt. The back plate here has that beautiful finish, a nice curved look. It does kind of suffer though when it gets scratched or damaged, as it has some sort of anodizing on the top. But overall it's a really beautiful derailleur. You can see here on the back jockey wheel cage that there's been a lot of machining here to make it nice and light. So I'm going to dismantle this derailleur and then I'm going to clean it and we're going to rebuild it. Let's begin. So I'm going to remove the small parts. Going to remove the jockey wheel bolts with a number 3 Allen key wrench. This one's quite dirty. There's the screw stopper right here that we need to take off using a Phillips. So I'm going to tension that now and attempt to remove it. There's now a bolt to remove. It looks like a number 5. I've gone to get a longer wrench as I have a feeling this is going to be quite tight as the jockey wheel bolts were. Let's see if we can... No, I'm going to try and do it after. Right, managed to loosen the bolt here. And now we can take off the jockey wheel cage from the main body. Okay, so the spring was on the right hole inside here. There's a seal. There's a spacer. I think you can take this off. Push the bolt through. Okay, take that off. Okay, so there was a spacer as well here. Put those together for now. We need to remove that clip to take off the top bolt from the knuckle. You need to position that clip in the right place for it to be able to come out. So by taking off that clip, this pretty much just came off on my one. There's a seal. Take out the spring. We can now remove the bolt. And there's another seal here. We can now remove the limit screws. This derailleur is so disgusting. I really want to remove the spring inside here. I think you can do it if you poke behind there and then lift up that tip of the spring and try and get it to go over. I'm going to try and do that now. Well, I did try to remove it, it's just really hard to get it in this angle, and then it'll probably be even harder putting it back in, so I think I'll just give up on that and just let it sit in some water and get rid of most of the dirt tomorrow. So I'm going to give this a clean. It's just disgusting and covered in grease. I'm going to let this body sit in some sort of soapy water overnight. Get rid of the dirt that's in between there, and then I'll wipe off the rest tomorrow. So I've given most of the parts a clean. I think I'm going to add a bit of oil around the probably the bearings inside these jockey wheels, and I'm going to grease the parts with some Teflon grease, notably the bolts or anything that's pivoting towards the sills. So let's first reinstall the spring for the bottom knuckle. So here, you'll notice here on this spring that there's one part that's slightly inverted, at least bent towards the center. I would say that's probably first. So we're going to put that into the hole that's at the back of the knuckle. Next, we're going to take the main bolt. There's a very, very thin type of washer that sits first. We're going to need to push this through here. It's quite hard to get in. It seems to be okay, looks like it's good. So now we can put another spacer or ring that was sitting on the top of this. I nearly forgot there's a sill that sits here, and now we can connect that through. So remembering that there's a left and a right hole. The right will be less tension, and I believe when I took this out it was on the right side, so I'm going to put that back onto the same hole. And here you're going to need to hold this down and use a number 5 Allen key wrench to screw that back in. Be careful obviously to not damage the threading when you're going to do this. It was fairly tight, so I'll do the same. Right, that's good. So now we're going to be tensioning this and putting the stopper, screwing back that stopper that's going to be located there at the end of my thumb. So we're going to reinstall the stopper into the part back there. You're going to need to tension this and let go. I'm going to put the limit screws back on. Be very careful when you're screwing any of these parts back in, as this is obviously very delicate, light aluminium, and because it's light it's easy to damage. So now we're going to install the spring on the top knuckle. There's a sill here, just to give you a visual, that's going to lay flat onto this part there. Now for the spring on here, there's one tip that's a little bit longer, that's actually going to go inside the knuckle. So there's a hole there at the back. I just need to aim for it. Yeah, it's in. Other side of this is a this plastic seal. Let's put a little bit of grease on that before we put it on. Push that down. That bolt can now go through. Forget what I said before, just put the seal firmly in place on here instead, because it seems to be moving up around quite a bit. So we now put that back on the top. Now we're going to need to tension this and then have the part that's sticking out there, that fold, to latch behind the stopping part on that knuckle. Grab an Allen key wrench, 2.5 or 2 is ideal. It's going to go through the hole where we put that screw. We're then going to use our hand to turn it around, and then we're going to push down. So now you can see it's on that, latched onto that stopper. You're going to want to hold this in place with your hand firmly so it doesn't slip. Holding that in place, we can now take the clip that goes underneath And now you can let go. You can now screw this back on. Right, I'm gonna put the jockey wheels back on. There's for some reason no marking on here. Usually they put a G pulley or whatever to indicate which one goes on the top or the bottom, upper or lower. The person I've got this from probably never actually replaced these or moved these. So from judging from my earlier video, the one with the larger ring compared to this one anyway, this is the G pulley, so this will be the upper and this will be the lower. So I'm not going to over tighten that as I'm about to put the other one as well. So there seems to be an arrow indicating the direction, so yeah, I guess this side will be fine. You could put some new thread locking liquid if you really want on these bolts to make sure they don't come out. These ones seem to have quite a bit left on them though, so I think they'll stay in place. Let's put the barrel adjuster back on. Clean off all any leftover grease. Right, so that's finished. So thank you for listening. Hope this helped you service your Shimano Dura Ace Rear Derailleur. Until next time, peace out.